And let's welcome Adam here. Do we just exchange microphones here? I think we do.
Yeah.
Adam, hi.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Excited.
What are we going to talk about now?
I'm going to talk about prototyping with Cursor using Figma MCP.
Who is using Cursor?
And who's using Figma MCP? Okay, nice.
Okay, we have like maybe roughly 8 of the people. Okay, stage is yours. Good luck.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to adjust this thing a little bit. Hi, everyone. My name is Adam. I'm from Muse. And today, as I said, I'll try to do a little demo of how I use Figma MCP to prototype. So there are lots of different ways that you can use it. I noticed that some of you raised your hands about Figma MCP. For those of you who don't know what it is, MCP is almost like an API for AIs. So it allows Cursor to talk to Figma and allows me to reference my Figma designs when I'm working in a Cursor. So to jump straight into the demo, what I've already done here is I created an initial prompt, and I'm going to show you the design that I'm going to be building, which is this part of the screen. So what you're looking at in Cursor actually is the current screen that I'm going to be iterating on. So some of you might use Cursor to prototype things from scratch, essentially. But what I'm doing here is I'm running a local Muse app, essentially. And I'm going to be prototyping on top of the working app. So this is what the page currently looks like, and I'll try to rebuild this part of the security dashboard. And what I've already done here as a prep, because it actually takes a bit of time, and it's not very visible because of this question stuff, so I'll just answer it straight away so we can get rid of it, and so that I can tell you a little bit about the initial prompt. I basically referenced the design in Figma, so I just grabbed the link, I popped it in here, and I also repeated some of the key points that I want Cursor to build. So I'm telling it to rebuild this security overview, which is this part of the screen, and that I want to use card. So card is literally the name of the component from our design system. And the great thing about MCPs is that when Cursor goes and looks at that design, it can see the file structure. So it literally sees all the frames and all the components that I'm using here, and it can reference them and knows that there's a card component used here, so I need to go into the design system and use the React component that's called card, etc. So I'm basically just giving it a little more context on top of the design itself. And I'm using the plan mode, as Patrick pointed out earlier, so that Cursor comes back to me with a plan on how it's going to implement the design that I want. And I've already done this, so I'll just click out of it, and I'll try to kind of review what it did, because when I gave it the initial prompt, it actually reviewed basically the whole code base, and it took like 10 minutes, so that's why I did it in advance, because otherwise we'd be waiting here a long time. And it did that so that it understands which file it needs to work in and has all the context so that it can actually build a working prototype. So at this stage, I think there should be a plan, but it didn't create one, so I'll tell it again to create the plan. And I'll try to rebuild the prototype. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so it's going to run the MCP tool again to get the design context from Figma. And now it's basically looking at what's in the frame in Figma and tries to understand what's in it. And together with the prompt that I gave it in the beginning, it will come up with a plan on how to implement the whole thing. So hopefully it won't take too long. Let's see. And by the way, I hope it's visible for people in the back. Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. Yeah? Okay, cool. It's really slow. I actually checked before, and it should be. Yeah, it's on. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's not working. I'll cancel it and I'll try to do it again. Oh, it actually did start. Okay, cool. So now it's generating the plan, as you can see, and it's telling me what it's going to build. So it's going to build this header card that I have in design, then these metric cards, and it already knows which files to modify, thanks to the review of the code that it did earlier. So that's great. And it has all the implementation details, and it's referencing, as you can see here, the library that we have, as well as some of the design tokens. So that all looks good. I'll go ahead and give it a thumbs up to build it, and let's see if it actually manages to build it. The thing that you saw in the beginning was actually pretty neat, where it asked me a clarifying question, and I really find that useful, so that I can be sure that it understands what I wanted to do. I can also just go in and edit this plan if I wanted to change some details of the implementation. I'm not going to do that now, so that we're not here for another hour. But already you can see that it's started to code, and let's see how long it takes. If it's more than a couple of minutes, I'll maybe just jump back to the result, because this is something I did a couple of weeks ago. It's nice to see the overview of all the to-dos that it's doing, so that you can kind of keep up with the progress. So maybe while it's doing some coding, I'll mention that I'm running a browser inside cursor. So you can obviously spin up the app and open localhost in the browser of your preference. But the cool thing about the browser inside cursor is that you can reference elements directly, and when you want to iterate on top of the prototype, you can just tell it that, hey, I want to change something with this card, for example, that it instantly knows where to look at, which is a good time saver. All right, so it coded the metric card. So when I actually did this a couple of weeks ago, I shared it with one of my engineers to kind of get a feedback on, would this actually be useful for you to build on top of? Because one reason I built this was for me to kind of explore the flow end-to-end in the working app, but I also wanted to experiment with whether this is something usable for engineers to take and continue building. The feedback I got back then was that it's super useful to have all the logic in the code for engineers, so that they can really understand, you know, what are the metrics and how they're defined in this case and things like that. The code quality wasn't great, to put it mildly, but maybe this is something that can be solved with better prompting. So we can already see some results. Obviously, it's still in the middle of coding, but we can already see that it is getting closer to the design that I wanted it to implement. It's not going to be perfect. Even when I did this, it took me a few back and forths to tweak out the details of it, but it already is a big leap over if I were to prototype this from scratch, because it can use all the design system components. So in that sense, it speeds things up a lot, I would say. It's being very thorough. So it already completed all the to-dos, and we see that it kind of struggles with fetching the right data, fetching the right pieces of copy. So that would be one of the first things I would iterate on. Maybe I'll jump to the result that I had when I did this some time ago. So I have a separate branch on a different copy of the same repository where I played with it much more and kind of tweaked it to be much closer to the intended design. This is still kind of static. I would still need to build on top of it, but this is already using the design system, and for like very high fidelity prototyping, I found this super useful and actually very, very fast, even though it doesn't look like it. All right, I think that does it for the demo. So thank you. If there are any questions, happy to answer.
Adam, thank you so much. We have room for like 1-2 questions, and then we will have a break and we will continue with the panel discussion. So we have a hand right there.
What is the advantage of this workflow compared to using Figma Make?
I have actually found that Figma Make is sort of translating the Figma components and kind of rebuilding them. The advantage of this is that it's using the actual React components that engineers use, and there are sometimes gaps between those, right? So in the perfect world there wouldn't be, but in the real world there are always some gaps in the design system between what's in Figma and what's in code. And I found it more useful to work with the code components because that's the reality, that's the actual thing that we will use eventually. So yeah.
Have we answered? Thank you. Perfect. Is there anyone else? Oh, yeah, we do.
Thank you. So for the developers, was the plan to actually go and use the code, or just to use the, let's say, flow that you designed and, you know, click through and see how it behaves? But would they actually use the code generated?
So the feedback I got was that they wouldn't use the code as it is. They would use the logic from it. If I were to play with the code and give it some better prompts, better instructions to maybe follow the patterns and the style of the code that we use at Muse, maybe it would do a better job of the code quality. So that is something I would like to experiment with further. But in this case, on the very first try, it didn't produce code of enough quality so that engineers could run with it. They could possibly take it and try to refactor some of it. I don't know how much that work would be. So this is still something I need to work with my engineers and understand, you know, if it would save more time than it would actually take to refactor so that they can actually build this thing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the questions. And now we will take a 10-minute break. Everybody refresh. And then we will continue with the discussion, and I hope we will get to all the questions you had and we didn't have time to answer yet. So 10 minutes, and we will see you here. Thank you.